Hello guys, welcome back. Part 2 now of this bulkhead removal, and today's going to be the interesting bit. We're going to start drilling out rivets and cutting some metal. So it's going to be noisy, it's going to be hot, it's going to be sweaty, and I'm going to have to shut the garage door because all the neighbours are home. So, and I've got to get this done, I can't keep putting it off. So basically we're going to get on with doing some noisy, horrible stuff. So let's go and have a look at what I've done already, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so basically what we're going to be removing is the complete bulkhead. Okay, we're only going to leave the wheel arch parts in, and as you know, I'm doing this thing where I'm going to get rid of these raised edges, but I'm going to cut out initially and show you how it looks with those raised edges so you'll know what I'm talking about. Now I've removed these, and for those of you that have Pumas, probably TD5s, these are steel, they're not aluminium, and they do rust. So you can see on there there's rust on both of them, and so that's something to bear in mind. I think they're only there for tooling. I think it's to get the riveting tools in to do the riveting on the floor. But certainly years ago they used to have like hooks there, didn't they, with rubber bands around them and stuff. So I've removed them just because they're in the way, sort of thing. It's going to make it easier to get in behind here cutting. I've also removed this cross member, which goes across here. I've just drilled out all the spot welds. And we can see that in behind there we've just got bare aluminium, so if your truck regularly gets wet inside, you might want to get some wax or something inside there, because that is just literally aluminium. There's nothing on there at all. Now I can't get this out because it's too long, so rather than cut the end off or cut it in half or something, I'm just going to wait till I've got the bulkhead out and then I'll take it out then. We've also got this piece here, so what we need to do is we've got a steel section that goes in here, like so. And we need to remove that, so we drill out all these rivets with a 5mm drill, and that steel section comes out, and that's actually connecting this cross member to these side pieces here, so that needs to come out. I'm also going to remove this top rail here, and I've also got to take the stiffener out of this side here. There's one in here, and you can see all the rivets. I'm probably off camera actually, but what I'll do is I'll move the camera around so we can see over here we've got these rivets, and it's got 3 on there on the front. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the top, and then there's 1, 2, I think there's 3 in the back. No, there's 2, 3, 4 in the back, so we've got to remove them. I'm also going to remove these rivets along the top of here and get rid of this. The first thing I did as well was I measured from this corner to the same point on the other side, and then wrote down a dimension, which was 1,542mm, because once you take all this out, these sides become quite floppy, which, as you can see, I've got a steel bar now clamped in across, which is holding it all together. Now, whether that's because I've got the tub off the truck or what, I don't know, but certainly I don't see the handle on the truck is going to support these sides at all, so you have got to take the sides off to fit this the Brit Part bulkhead removal bars, so you may as well do that. You may as well clamp that up while you're there, and that'll hold it all in place, and then when you bolt your bar in, you know you're not going to be pulling the tub out of square. So I'm going to go on and drill these out. I might do a little bit of filming, but probably not a lot, and then we'll start looking at getting on with some cutting. I'm probably going to use the plasma cutter because of the noise. If I cut it with a disc, it's going to make loads of noise because of the cutting. If I cut it with the plasma, we've got the noise of the air and the compressor and everything, but I think the plasma is going to be a lot less distortion, rendering and stuff like that. So I'm going to get on and do some drilling, and then I'll be back. And so for the cutting, I've decided to use this. This is called the Turner Nibbler, English tool, made in Great Britain. I've had it. I looked at the receipt. I paid £29.95 for it in 2001, so it's 20 years old. Brilliant little tool. What it does, it cuts. It's got this little circular die in it. You can see as it comes forward. What it does, it actually cuts on the back pull, and it gives you. This is the result. You get loads of these little half moon or moon shaped little bits of swarf coming off. So I'll just show you quickly how it works. It's not too noisy, and it's not hard to use. So we just go in, go into a hole, and then There we go, it's that easy. So just got to cut along there now, along there, and then down, and we'll take the panel out. There we go, it's out. You can see here now we've got a great big gap where the bulkhead used to be, and you cut down here, come back a bit, you cut down here on either side, because obviously you won't be able to lift the bulkhead out with these bits in here. Now these bits in here need a lot of care to remove. I've cut across here, as you can see, and I've stayed on the wrong side of the flange, obviously because I want to keep the strength in that area while I rivet it together. Now these areas up here, there's a couple of spot welds up here, up under here, and what they suggest in the book, in the instructions, is to drill them out. I didn't want to drill them out because I didn't want the risk of actually putting a dimple here on the outside of the body. So what I've done is I've used a little sander like this. This is Black & Decker, which is absolute junk. I would suggest going to Screwfix and getting the, I can't think of the name of it now, but it's blue and grey, and it has adjustable head and everything, and the belts are much cheaper. So use one of the, like a sander like this, and then just get in there, and as you can see what I've done, if I move the camera, you can see that I've just sanded away at the top of the rivet until I broke through. Okay, and the same down here. There isn't a spot weld here. Let's just come back so you can see around. There isn't a spot weld here. There's a flange going up. There's a flange going up here, which is spot welded to the outer skin, and it carries on, and you need to cut across there. So what I've done is ground away till the metal's so thin it just becomes very, very flexible, and I should be able to get in there and I'll literally snap that off, I think. So I've done the same on the other side, you can see here, and then I've cut through with a saw to make a line in it, and the same up here. So it's all just flopping about now, as you can see. So I'm going to do a bit of work, get them out, and then I'll be back. And there we go, as you can see, it's all gone. So up in the sides here, you can see this is where I said about sanding away those spot welds rather than drilling them, and I've got to deal with this area down in here. Obviously this is the way that Britpart would have you use the kit, leaving this flange in place, which I don't like. And when you look at it from the other side, it's horrible. It's not very nice at all. So you can see the same over there. So I'm going to be re-riveting. I've marked out, and I'm going to be re-riveting here down into that 3mm section which is underneath, and then we'll cut this away. Once we've got a couple of rivets in there just to tack it together, and then it's going to be a case of cleaning it all up, flipping it over again, and then I want to bond those aluminium strips in with polyurethane adhesive, and then we'll drill through the rivets, put it in properly, and then seal it all in from behind. But that turn and nibber has a lovely finish. You can see down on here, that bottom edge, that cut is, I don't even cut my finger on it, so it's a lovely little tool. And as you can see, it's done a lovely finish on there as well. So there we go. So I can get some drilling done, get some riveting done, and then remove these flanges. Okay, so you can see now I've gone in and removed the aluminium strips from behind, because you've got to debore all the holes. Anybody who's into fabrication will know that when you do this, you should always take the parts apart afterwards and deburr the holes on all four sides. So you've got this front face, this back face, then you've got the front face of the back piece and the back face of the back face, and deburr them all, and then you get a nice clean joint, and then otherwise the swarf builds up between the two pieces and you end up with a gap. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to flip it over again, because it's going to be easier to bond those strips in from working downwards than try and hold them in and rivet them from the front. So these are just 1/8 holes, rivet with 1/8 holes, and then they'll all be drilled out afterwards before I paint it, and I replace them with 5mm rivets just like these are, and go from there. Another thing I noticed, you remember I talked a lot about this getting wet and dirty when I drove in the rain. Watch this, watch down in this corner down here. See that? See the light? It's got a gaping great hole there in the sealant. That's where the water was coming in from the tyre. So another great quality aspect of Land Rover. Anyway, I'm going to get it flipped over now and I'll be back. Okay, so there we go, tub tipped over, or tub flipped over. So first we're going to do is degrease everything. So I've gone around and checked that everything's deburred, so that's all good. Make sure that everything's degreased, because if there's oil on it, then adhesives won't work. So they're all deburred and cleaned up. Warm day today, it's all just evaporating. So there we go, so there's all cleaned up. Right, so we're going to get some adhesive. This is just polyurethane sealant, like Tiger Seal or whatever. And we're just going to get some on here. I don't think you can see what I'm doing, can you? Can you now? Yeah, just about. So get some sealant on here. Get plenty on there so it can all ooze around. And this is to not only seal it, but it's also to glue it in, as it were. And I'm going to go along the edge, because obviously we want the edge sealed, and we will be going over it afterwards with some of the, you know, the spray on underseal stuff. So I've got a lump in the end of the nozzle, so we'll get that out. So go along that edge, and then just around like this. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this now is because if I left it till after I'd taken those rivets out, the original ones, it would push it all apart because there'd be nothing holding this thing together. So we can just drop that in like that, give that a little push, and then I'm going to grab a rivet and try and find a hole, she said. There we go. Let's push one through there, one through there, and then from the underside, if I can find a hole. Where are we? I can't find, I'll have to go from this way around just to get it lined up. There we go, because you can imagine the adhesive is pushing it away in two planes. And these, as I say, these are 1/8 rivets. I'm not using these permanently. These are just going to be hold it together while the glue goes off, and then I can do all my cleaning up, and it doesn't matter if I hit them with a grinder or something. When I come to do it properly, I'll be using the 5mm rivets. Now, I don't know why that one won't go in. Is it a dodgy rivet, or is there some dodgy drilling going on here? Give it a push with the rivet gun, maybe it'll go in then. There we go, it's gone in. It's just a tight hole, so she said. So there we are, so that's that done. Now on the other one, so we'll get some sealant on there. Get some along the edge again and all the way around here. And then we can plop this one in. There we go, once again, get the glue off our fingers, try and find a hole. Go straight in. In. Just get a push. There we go. There you go. There we go, that's them all in. There's one more to go in there. And that's it. All I've got to do now is pull all those rivets to get the adhesive to pull, and we're good to go. So I'll get all those rivets pulled and then I'll come back. Voila! There we go, done. So that's all riveted in. As you can see, all sealed all around the edges and up under there. And so that's all watertight now. And as I say, once it's all been drilled out and the bigger rivets go in, and we've also got these big plates to go in here that support the bar, then all of this is going to get sprayed with this stuff, just to seal it in really. So there we go. Happy with how that's come out. It's solid. I'm not going to call it a professional job because that would just be blowing my own trumpet, but it's certainly a lot better than it could have been done. So I'm happy with the way and it's going to look lovely from the inside, because what we'll do is we'll trim back the aluminium now, so we'll have this kind of thing, and then we'll just have a bead of sealant in there, and then we can smooth that down, and it's going to look really, really nice, I think. And then we'll give it a nice fresh coat of paint. In fact, I might paint the whole tub inside and Keswick green, and then it'll all be done. So there we go. I'll take you around the other side quickly before we say goodbye. Just move around here so you can get an idea of how it's going to look. And there you go. You can see up under there you got the row of rivets now along here, and then we've also got a row of rivets down the inside there, and there'll also be some up under here as well that I'm not going to move the camera for. So there we go. So I've got to let that go off now, let that go off for a day or two, and then trim away these flanges. So I'll see you for that for part 3. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.